Hello there, my name's Chris Dangerfield and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it's lovely to have you here. My voice is a little bit pensive. If you want social justice bashing, this isn't the video for you. I'm kind of nervous about this story, not because I'm worried about sharing it. I've done stand-up about this material. It's just it brings a lot up in me. Based on a few things I've said, people have got a little bit of an idea about some of the things I've done in my past. And they've asked me to tell this story and gulp. And so I will. So this could go on for a while. I'll keep an eye on the time. If it really goes on, I'll break it up into parts. If you're not into stories involving drugs and crime and human depravity, leave now. I'm kind of sure I'll lose a few subs over this kind of stuff. People don't like it. I don't blame them. It is without doubt a drain on society. I don't regret what happened. I don't really think about the past too much. I haven't got a lot of time for it. But anyway, let's go. The Crack Diaries, Part 1. So a little bit of background. I was with a girlfriend. Now, I met her when she was 16 and I was 20. And we were both in relationships and we used to fuck about behind our different partners' backs for years and years. I'd done a master's degree in Leeds. I came back. I was single. She was single. We got together. It was great fun. We were going out in Soho. We were getting pissed. We were doing speed. We were smoking weed. We were doing little bits of opium. She had some real severe problems, and so did I. I was still struggling to get over the death of my father. I hadn't even started to deal with it. I don't think I did for another 15 years, to be honest with you. And she was basically schizophrenic. She had obsessional compulsive disorder and taking loads of drugs and alcohol and having a pretty mad life was the last thing she wanted. She was working as a croupier at the Ritz. She was doing after hours work with rich Arabs, escorting, earning like £1,000 an hour. I put a stop to that in the end. I didn't think it was good for her, but when she comes home with a stack of £50 notes, it's like, you got to stop that soon. Anyway, eventually we started taking heroin. And, you know, like everyone who starts taking heroin, it's like, nah, what they say in the books and on the news is rubbish. I won't become addicted. And you do it every weekend. And we were doing that for a couple of years. Just a little 10 bag at the weekend. Seemed like fun, nice. Go out, have a bit of speed or some alcohol. I mean, you got to put this in the context of the town I grew up in. I grew up in a town where it was quite normal by the age of 15 or 16 to fuck spending 20 quid on a load of booze, getting into a fight and feeling like shit all weekend, when you could spend £10 on a Purple Om, an LSD blotter, if you don't know, a 16th of amphetamine sulfate, and a 16th of solid hash. The lot for a tenner, or £15 if you didn't know someone. Absolutely amazing, and that would see you for Friday and Saturday, and Sunday you'd just be walking around like a zombie, but you know, you're a kid and you can handle it in those days. So, you know, drugs were quite normal to me. I was selling acid when I was 16. I was moving all sorts of drugs by the time I was 20. In quite a big way as well, you know, dealing with several kilos of weed and like, you know, picking up 500 trips at a time. So it wasn't like, oh, let's get into drugs. Drugs were already there. This was normal. It wasn't, you know, strange. But there wasn't a lot of heroin use around where I lived. There's fucking loads now. I like to think I introduced it. But yeah, I was out and about in Soho, and I'll tell you what happened. I was in a pub in Soho called the French House, and obviously this is all presented as a work of fiction. None of this happened. Okay, copper. And the landlady said, I don't know why they don't just go round the church on Wardour Street and lock them all up. Everyone knows you can get heroin round there. I put my coat on, never done smack before. Put my coat on, walked round there, went up to this black fella, went, can I buy some heroin? He went, £20. I gave him £20 and he spat it on the floor. I should have known then. I mean, I was crawling around on the floor looking for this tiny little bag. Anyway, after a couple of years weekend using it, then started becoming the weekend and Wednesday. I mean, you know, that's not addicted. You know, it's so nice, makes you feel so good. I mean, when you've got problems, heroin works. It takes them all away. And so then it's Saturday night, Friday night, Saturday night, because that's a weekend, and then you kind of can't wait till Friday again. So it's Friday night, Saturday night, then Wednesday. And then occasionally you start thinking, well, you know, it's Tuesday, it's almost Wednesday, she'll have a little bit. And then it's Thursday, I mean, it's almost Friday, so you'll have a little bit. Took a while, though. Took a lot of effort. Took about 3 years for me to become a junkie. To get to the point where, can't do without it. So we realised we were in a bit of trouble. Didn't have a lot of money. I mean, in the drugs game, 1 week you're absolutely minted. The next week you literally aren't eating. You know, you spend money as quick as you're earning it, really. And some weeks you don't earn it. The police get involved. You know, money goes missing. You get busted. You have to throw drugs out down the fucking... what's it called? The thing in the sink. The food. I can't even think what it is. With all the food. Well, we used to store our drugs above that and set it up to a tripwire. So when the door went in and all the drugs are gone. Shit happens out of windows, out of car windows, etc. It's dramas. So I said to my girlfriend, let's go down to Devon. Let's go down where I'd done my first degree. You know, I'm about 25 now. So let's go down to Devon. It's nice there. Let's go down, get off the smack and have a nice life. So we go down there. It turns out the town we go to, sunny Totnes in Devon, is just covered in heroin. I cannot get away with it. I'm not blaming anyone else. Can't get away from it. It's everywhere. And so I need money because I'm just still using. So is my girlfriend. We're just using. We've got a nice little pad down there. It's a real shame this didn't work out because it's a beautiful little town. So I thought I need some money, so I've gone back up to my hometown, talked to this dealer I knew. He was giving me half a kilo of cocaine. I'd take that down to Totnes, so I'd wash it up, I'd make crack out of it and started selling it in the town. After about 3 weeks, most of the pubs in that town were empty. Everyone was using crack. I was turning over about $3 a day, selling £20 rocks. My house was like a fucking... It was just in out all day long. No concern for the police. I mean, I was just smoking £20 stones, I don't know, every 20 minutes. You'll hear people on the news say, oh, crack cocaine, it costs you £10, £20 a hit, and it lasts only for half hour. Fuck does it. Even the best crack is you're looking at 5-10 minutes maximum before you want some more. You don't become addicted immediately, and it's quite easy to get off. I mean, years later, once I'd had enough, I just went, no more crack. But once you've had one, you will pretty much do what you need to do to have another one. It takes you so high, but then you go so low, and you just do not have the chemicals left in your brain to make you feel good. It's awful. It's a horrible feeling. The way crack works, it's a bit like a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor like Prozac, but it's like 1,000 Prozac hitting you at once. You have these receptors, and the serotonin usually just sort of gently washes past them in a cycle. And what Prozac does is it stops it moving, so it kind of bathes your serotonin receptors. So if you haven't got a lot of it, rather than it just dancing past it occasionally, it soaks it. And crack does pretty much the same. Kind of just gives you a massive... I think it affects your dopamine, etc. I'm not too up on that, but wow, do you go up. But wow, do you go down. And the problem with selling crack for a living is, if you can't sell it quicker than you can smoke it, you're in trouble. And this is how quickly you can smoke it. 20 quid. Then your girlfriend, another 20 quid. 5 minutes later, 20 quid. Then think about that. What's that? What's that? 12 fives in an hour. Is that right? My head's fucked. You can see you're getting through money, man. We were doing over $1,000 a day of crack cocaine, smoking it. And we were fucked, you know, that out of a half kilo, I was making a lot of money, but was I caning it. And you don't sleep. Well, I remember staying awake for like weeks on end, 2-3 weeks. You'd get the odd hour here, but you just do not sleep. You hardly eat. You're disappearing. You're losing a stone a week, if not more. And you're going out of your mind. I mean, my girlfriend, like I said, she was obsessive compulsive disorder and schizophrenic. She'd be looking out the window saying there's a party going on out there. I'd look out there, nothing. Just a quiet countryside town. Tuesday morning, 6 a.m, nothing at all. And then when I opened the window to say, look, she'd go, don't do that, they're dwarves. It's dark stuff. She got stuck on the intercom. I mean, this is crack psychosis plus not sleeping or eating, plus being mental anyway. She'd sit listening to the intercom and she'd be going, shut up. And then she'd go, John, Terry the old landlord, those two scousers from Dartford, they're all outside. Basically, everyone we'd ever had a run-in with, she was convinced were outside. And she'd be listening to this thing for like 10, 12, 14 hours at a time. And when I'd take it off her, it was only the crackling that she was interpreting. But I had the neurosis as well. So I'd listen, I'd go, it's just a crackling. But I'd have a real listen, and suddenly I'd hear people going, yeah, we're going to fucking get them. Just outright hearing voices. She put her ear to the smoke alarm on the ceiling once, and she was going, the people upstairs are going to kill us. After a couple of days of that once, I remember going, right, fuck it, I'm going to deal with this. I got a vegetable cleaver, which is just a big meat cleaver, really, but fuck knows why it's called a vegetable one. I had no top on. I was pissing with sweat, like a skeleton. And I just walked down the stairs, opened the front door, and went, right! And it's just little Wednesday morning, old ladies walking past. I'm just standing in the door with a vegetable cleaver. Things just went from bad to worse, really. I mean, I was doing so much business, people coming in and out. I wasn't keeping up with meetings. There were people ringing me. I was leaving them for hours, going, no, I'll be there in a minute. Put the phone down. Completely forgot to have another rock. Awful, awful, awful times. It's making me feel a bit, a bit dirty. Ugh. All the time, also still doing heroin as well. You can't do crack without heroin. No, God, no. Because even when, you need to just keep, you're chasing one with the other. You're going up, you're going down, you're going up, you're going down. And your life is disappearing. I had a band going at the time. We had a recording deal, a publishing deal, a management deal. Lost all that. And every Friday night I'd come back up to Dartford to pick up another half kilo of cocaine, go down, rinse it all up, sit there, all the fucking chemistry. Not that difficult. You can make it in the microwave, bit of bicarbonate of soda. You make a special one yourself with ammonia. Sometimes you do an ammonia and a bicarb wash and put the price up. Sometimes you stretch it by leaving the bicarb in it, so you're getting 1.2 grams out of a gram. Think about that on half a kilo. The markup is incredible. And yet still I was smoking it quicker than I could make on it. I mean, I was making £3,000 on the ounce, and the ounce was costing me about £800. Still running out of money. Every time I was going back up to Dartford to pick up some more, I'd be a few grand down. They'd be like, where's the money? I go, no, it's all out there working. I've got a load of people out there working. The debt started building up. 5 grand short, 10 grand short, 15 grand short, 20 grand short. And then one day, we're sitting there, smashed out of our head. I'm on the computer. Dial up in those days, just sitting there for hours waiting for a bit of porn to upload. Still. My girlfriend's just sitting there, smoking pipes, big pile of crack on the table. And then just bang! And she went, what's that? And I went, I assume that's the police. And the front door, the wooden door, just flew across the room. And CO-19 come in. Armed response, German-made Heckler and Koch, automatic machine guns. Shit. He's put one right at my head. He went, put your hands in the prayer position. And I was like, ain't being funny, mate. They're kind of there already. My missus, just mental. She's going, what's going on? What's going on? I was going, Jesus. About 20 of them came in. Then the dogs come in. Now, what's lucky is that could have been so much worse. Like I say, every Friday I'd go up to Dartford, pick up half a kilo, come down. They must have been watching us for months because they come on a Saturday. Any other Saturday, there's going to be about 25 ounces of crack there. That's 10 years. That's your goodbye. Nothing. Conspiracy with intent to supply the lot. They're absolutely going to throw the book at you. Scales, little bags. They've been watching us, obviously. I'm surprised I didn't get done for conspiracy. Something weird happened, though. I said I had a band. Well, it was my birthday, and we had a gig in London. And we went up there. That was the night I lost the band. I lost the publishing deal, the management deal, lost it all. Turned up late, me and the missus in the train toilet smoking crack. Didn't bother getting out. Went halfway back home. Shit, where am I? Got to the gig. The rest of the band are just looking at me like, yeah, you fucked it. That was a showcase for all the money people. So that was the one night I went back to Totnes without half a kilo of coke, without getting home and turning it into crack. They found a little tiny lump of smack. They were there for about 3 hours. They brought the dogs in and everything. They were all sitting around. It was funny actually. We had 2 white rats. We got a bull terrier in the end. Crack dealer's weapon of choice. But at that time we just had 2 white rats. And when they were all there with their guns and that, one of the coppers went to me. It says here you've got dangerous animals. And I went, well, we've got a couple of white rats that will certainly bite you. And they went, where are they? I was like, what, you serious? Fuck, you got a fucking machine gun. You went, where are they? I went, well, they're loose. They're wild rat. And I was like, they're they're just walking about. And so none of them sat down. I said they just in between the sofas and on the seats, and none of them sat down. They couldn't risk it. 2 white rats, little fuckers, didn't show up either. Funny little things. Rats are natural hoarders, and occasionally I'd find their little stashes, and it'd be little rocks of crack and little bags of other people's heroin that they'd lost when they'd come round because the rats done the off of them, stashing them up for me. Anyway, things went from bad to worse. Of course, the landlord was like, "You got to go. I don't want you here, you got to go." And I was like, "Oh shit." I said, "Give us a few more weeks." He went, "All right, you can find somewhere to live." We had nowhere to live. Went back up London, and I got another lot off the bloke, and then I thought, fuck it, I haven't got his money. I was now about 60 grand debt to him. And he rang me up once. He said, "Listen, you little fucker." He went, "Not only have you got me in that 60 grand debt, but they won't give me any work." This was his job. He was a cocaine dealer. They wouldn't lay him on anymore because I'd made him 60 grand in. And he went, "I need that money. Where is it?" I said, "Yeah, no problem, no problem." Never spoke to him again. Turned the phone off, ignored him, blocked him. Fuck that, not interested. I even stopped selling the stuff. You know, I had about 10 ounces left. Fuck that. Shut the doors, not interested. Sold enough to buy my heroin. Me and the girlfriend just sat in, disappearing, going out of her minds. She looked at the rat once, one of the rats, Leon, and she went, "Look at it. It's got a top hat on. It's smoking with a cigarette holder, and it's got human legs." As soon as she said it and put the idea into my head, I looked at it, and there he was. Top hat. With human legs, like little Barbie doll legs. It was dark, man. We'd have these crazy arguments that got so intricate, you know, not sleeping for weeks on end. You'd be going, "No, because you said no, no." And then we'd argue, and then she'd end up like, pulling her hair out. And I'd just be going, "What is happening to my life? What is going on?" And all the walls would be breathing. And it would be like light. And then as I turned my head, it would all go dark and gloomy. And the carpet would look like it was sucking the air in. And then we'd both just start crying in each other's arms, like, "We got to stop this. This is awful." Like the most desperate, you know, you've got no dopamine left, no serotonin. You've got nothing that can make you feel good. You feel like you're haunting your own life. Crying in each other's arms, promising we will never smoke crack again and we'll get off the heroin. And as soon as we got over the argument, as soon as we gave each other a bit of support, we'd celebrate with a rock of crack and start the whole fucking thing all over again. This is dark, isn't it, man? So then word keeps getting to me from people in Dartford. "He's after you. He's after you. He's been round your mother's house." I started getting worried then, really worried, really guilty. Fuck, man. You know, these are dangerous people. They're criminals. They don't give a fuck. Now, someone said, luckily, he's got the wrong street. He thinks he knows where your mum lives, but he doesn't. And no one's filling him in. I knew a lot of the criminals in Dartford, and they wouldn't tell him. And it was nice. That was Andy. It was nice. It wasn't fucking nice. It was terrifying. You know, can you imagine? A mate of mine had his mum's house petrol bombed because he owed someone £2,000. I'm £60,000 into this bloke. So one day I pulled the phone out the wall, turned the mobile off, and we just sat there. You could hear people knocking at the door all day long. We didn't even have any money for the electricity. There was money laying around, like notes, like, you know, bundles of money. But not interested, didn't want to go out. Just disappearing. I think we both thought we'd probably die there. You know, we'd drink a bit of water occasionally, have a cup of tea, but never washed. The bath had all our bin bags in it. And just nothing. And all I could think of was this gangsters after me. And then one day I plugged my house phone in. I don't know why. No real reason. I just plugged my house phone in. And as soon as I plugged it in, it rang. And I picked it up and I went, "Yeah." And my friend Larry said to me, "He's in Totnes. He's got a firm with him. They're asking about where you are. They're coming to get you." That's the end of part 1.